All right, y'all. So I'm gonna get straight into it. Let me just say a couple things. Um, as y'all come in, if you need to comment, if you need to reach me in any kind of way, just email me. This is how a lot of my live streams is gonna be going. This is how a lot of the videos from here on out is gonna be going. My comments is turned off. So, and the reason behind that is I got a lot of trolls and stuff that comes through. There's a lot of conversation that's going on that's not about what we're trying to do. And so it's a distraction. Okay. So if you want to give me any advice or anything like that, just email me. Just email me. Mississippi Girl 2021 at gmail.com. It's all in my description box on most of my videos and stuff like that. But email me. I will do live streams where I sit down and talk to y'all and we can chat and everything like that. But when I'm really doing like serious live streams like this one, then I'd rather just have the chat off. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I've been doing a lot of different things trying to get my household together when it comes to um preparing. Okay, so we got so much going on. I don't have to constantly tell y'all what's going on. Y'all know what's going on. You know, with the food shortages and stuff, it's getting worse and worse. There's so many things that's causing the food shortages, and I mean, we just have to prepare and make sure we got what we got. So with that being said, um how to prepare and survive and overcome a food shortage. First thing is more than just getting food. Okay, everybody area is different. Everybody area is different. Everybody pockets is different. Everybody can afford certain things that the other person can afford. But at the end of the day, the main thing is that you prepare in some kind of way, because preparing a little bit is better than not preparing at all. All right. You are no, you are just as good as the next person. Just because you may not be able to get what the next person get, you is still just as good as the next person. Okay. You still got a family, you got yourself. If you don't have like nobody around you that you have to prepare, you have to prepare for yourself. All right. So first thing is identify the potential risk in your area. Okay, so you gotta overall look at where you live. Where you live, what are some things that can happen? We all live in different climates and stuff. You know, you got people in California to deal with a lot of droughts, a lot of wildfires. Here in North Carolina, there's wildfires. Up in the mountain area, I don't have to deal with that, but you just never know. Look at Mississippi. Look at Mississippi and Texas. What, 2020? Look at what happened. They didn't expect to get that type of snow and stuff that they got, and a lot of people was caught off guard. So look at, first of all, evaluate where you live. Evaluate what are the risks. That's the biggest thing. What are the risks where you live? What are your area is prone to? And then once you get that down together, then you can put in the what if, because it may not be prone to it, but that don't mean it cannot happen. So you want to identify the potential risks of your area. Take an inventory of the current resources. Like, what is something that in your area is very needy? What is something that a lot of people buy in your area? Those are the things you want to look into getting if you need them, because with shortages and stuff, those are the first things to go. All right. Food and water. You already know. We already know. No matter one thing we have in common, no matter where we live, we need water. You need water before you need food. You can survive a lot longer without food, but you can't without water. Okay, so even with the food situation, and we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and hint on it because I got a lot of live streams coming, and like I say, I love it this way. I'm not distracted by chats, y'all not, so it is good. So you gotta look at, there's things right in our backyard, right over the tree line and stuff like that we can eat. So that's a food source that grows wild. That's a food source right there. But water, everybody is not by a creek or ocean or anything like that to be able to purify their water. So water should be the main thing that all of us should be stocking up on. Okay, water should be our main thing. So next is develop a food shortage plan to grow both short and long term food storage. So you see all these videos, and not knocking nobody or nothing, but they all go for the big, for the big, for the big. Everybody not able to do that. I understand. Everybody is not able to do that, you know? So start small, start with something, especially if you're a beginner. It talks about being prepared for 3 days. 3 days, okay? That's water and food and, whatever things you need, like flashlights and stuff like that. But today we are focusing on the water and the food, all right? So if you prepare for 3 days, short term, 3 days, then you can add more stuff. And then what you get then, you start getting your long term. But you want to start with at least your short term, especially if your funds is not there, like that of the next. So with that being said, you can grow your own food indoor or outdoor. I got so many videos on how to grow your own food indoor. There's other content creators that got a lot of videos on growing food indoors, okay? Because in the event of a situation that you can't grow outside, or there's a storm or something that hit, and you know it's hidden now, it's took away all your plants or whatever, you need to know how to grow indoors. You need to know how to grow things like sprouts, things that are very quick. You need to know how to grow vegetable sprouts. That's what I'm trying to say. Things that you can eat off from in a matter of a week or less, okay? Those are other things that you can survive at a situation, because something is better than nothing. Keep that in mind. Something is better than nothing. Okay, if you hungry or you thirsty, would you rather have that little bit of water go on your tongue than to have nothing? Would you rather have those two little streams of sprouts of whatever it is, microgreens, whatever, to put and just eat and just imagine it's something, than to have nothing? Keep that in mind. Also, learn to preserve your food. This is just like the introduction of how, to get started. Learn how to preserve your food. That's freezing, dehydrating. I understand everybody ain't on board with the dehydrating. Everybody ain't on board with the canning. If you not, that's where you need to begin your canned goods. They last years and years past the expiration date. Okay. That's when you need to be stocking up on your canned goods. I always talk about try to get canned goods that is low in sodium. You can always add to, but sometimes it's hard to take away. You can always, if you get it low in sodium, you can make so many different meals that you may need different seasonings for and stuff that ain't already. It ain't. You can add this seasoning in there because you like that tasting. It ain't got to worry about it being too salty. You get what I'm saying? So as long as, to me, when it's less sodium, it's closer to its purest form. It's still out of a can. It's still processed. But let's try to do something because you need sodium, but you don't need a whole lot of it in an emergency situation. You don't need to overdo it each day. So that's what I be saying when I say that. And I also talk about raised chickens or livestock. That's if you can. But I understand some people live in apartments and stuff. You can't do that. So you can't do that. Don't worry about that. Worry about what you can. Now, let's go into some of the things. A lot of people is looking at food shortages. Oh, the truck driver shortages and this. Oh, they blocking this and they blocking that. It's more bigger than that. There is more things than this pandemic that can cause a food shortage, and we're about to get into it. One, droughts. If you stay in hot places, you deal with droughts, floods. How somebody gonna get in to bring food? How is trucks and stuff gonna get in if the water, if the ground and stuff is underwater, if the bridges and stuff is underwater? You gotta think about those things. It's not just the pandemic. That's why I constantly say prepping is a lifestyle change, because you got so many different obstacles that can hinder you and cause for a disaster or emergency situation. You got tornadoes. We done seen a lot of those 2022. So far, we done seen a lot of those. And where I'm from, Mississippi is prone to tornadoes. Texas and those places like that. But they also can happen other places, because as we can see, ain't nothing impossible these days. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing impossible these days. And if you believe in the Bible and stuff, it says we're living in the last days. There's gonna be things that you can't control that happen, that man will be like, oh, that never happened here. Yeah, but that don't say that it cannot never happen. Just because it haven't happened. You know what I'm saying? Wildfires. What, California? Other places up here in not say the mountain, I think it's the mountain areas. Wildfires. Trucks can't get in and out to bring you food. High winds take down power lines and stuff. When we had Hurricane Florence back in 2018, a lot of these restaurants and stuff was trying to they was just giving the food away because they rather give it away than to let it spoil. Walmart, at that time I was working at Walmart, we had a mandatory evacuation. And I remember I had to work that night, well, that day. And the governor had already said everybody needed to be leaving. But Walmart wouldn't let me off. That's how I remember it so much. Walmart wouldn't let me off until my shift was, none of us off until our shift ended. And I remember Walmart the next day had, they threw away, instead of giving it away, they threw away so much food out of those coolers. So much food. They were shut down because they didn't have no food. All those coolers, when they back up, something happened with their backup generators and stuff. That stuff went out. It was 7 days that where we lived didn't have no power, no electricity or nothing. The road coming into where I live was underwater at one point. We left. Good thing we left. You have to look at those things. Hurricanes. That's us. I live in a hurricane prone area. Okay? It is what it is. So you have to look and you have to look and pay attention to what can happen in your area. I just told you what can happen with us with hurricanes and tornadoes here. All right. Earthquakes. People that live in Seattle and stuff. I got family members that live in Seattle. You know, it's very close family member. You have to look at, what is it, tsunamis and stuff like that happens. People that live there, if any of y'all watching me that live up in that area, then yeah, or anything else that's possible. That's me talking about what happened in Mississippi and Texas 2022. People, it was freezing. People was hungry. They didn't know what to do because they had never experienced that. All right, so now that you know, if you hadn't thought about, there are different things that can cause food shortages other than the current situation. All right, so now we're going to talk about what should you buy to prepare for food shortages. Basic things that you probably already got. So let's go. A short-term food storage is what you already got in your cabinets. That's considered short-term. You already got food, your basic things in your cabinets. You probably got enough food and stuff that's going to last about, 3 to 5 days or something like that, or even longer. All right. So what are some things that you probably buy every day that can be considered long term? Well, on this list, it gives you, everything is pretty much basic. First, your flour. And I'm going to tell y'all what I have in my extended pantry that's on this list. And you can go back to the video where I did the tour the other day, and you will see those things are in it. I just have to get more of those things. But flour, you can do a lot with flour. You can do a lot with flour. Pancakes, everything. All right. Rice. We already know rice is very important. Noodles and pasta. Now, let me get you right there. I'm not talking about ramen noodles, okay? A lot of people may stock up on those. If you like those, if you don't use the whole sauce pack, or if you do, or whatever the case may be, they don't digest with us well. Some about them ramen noodles don't digest with us well. And let me tell y'all, ladies, pasta do not digest for our bodies like it do a male. You can look it up. All right. You can look it up. It's something about pasta and noodles. It takes longer. And it says something about our body frames as females. Not this now, no, but I'm just telling you a little bit of information that I know from a couple years. It just don't process it like it do males. Males can eat them better than we can, and probably y'all probably know what I'm talking about. You probably didn't experience eating ramen noodles and was like, wait a minute, it ain't going down, or it ain't, or you can tell something. Okay, so keep that in mind. So it says you can have various varieties, white and whole wheat. Well, I will buy gluten free. That's just me for my household. I would literally buy gluten free noodles and pasta. So, and normally those are made with quinoa, brown rice, quinoa, and something else, but it ain't no wheat in it. Okay. Next, vegetables. Now, freeze dried, canned, and dehydrated. Has that in parentheses, all right? So don't let nobody tell you that you have to have it this way or that way. Everybody do it differently. If you're on low income or on a set budget or whatever the case may be, you probably not going to be buying a freeze dryer. Not saying you can, but you're probably not. Get them canned goods and know that you're doing just as much as anybody else is doing. Get the canned goods. Just know how to shop for them. Know what to shop for, okay? Fruits, freeze dried, canned, and dehydrated, okay? Now, when it comes to the vegetables and it comes to the fruit, one thing that I don't see in their parentheses is frozen. And we already know why. Because if the power stuff go out, then you run the risk of all of your stuff spoiling. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have frozen goods. All right? This is why. Say that stuff happened and you got bag ice in your freezer and the power is off for maybe 2 or 3 days. You leave that freezer down, you may be able to still save your food. That freezer down, keep bag ice in your freezer for emergency situations. You still may be able to save your food. But that's just if you got frozen stuff out of your garden and stuff in there, you saved it. You didn't have to go to your canned goods. You didn't have to go to there. They talking about freeze dry. Everybody can't get no freeze dryer. So freeze your stuff too. Freeze stuff that you get from the garden. If you want to, they didn't say canned neither. They said canned goods. Okay, so you can can it if you want, if that's what you choose to. The chickens, if that's what you choose to. But don't forget about freezing. I'm still gonna be freezing a whole lot of stuff out of there. And one thing about it is you can freeze your stuff and then you say, hey, I want to dehydrate it. You can take that stuff right out the freezer and dehydrate it. It's just a quick way to preserve your food to make it last until you figure out what you want to do with it. All right. Oats. Oats is almost on every list. If you can take oats, and if you have a gluten problem, they do have gluten-free yolks. Oats. There are gluten-free oats, okay? Because I have bought them. Next is sugar. Say white, soft brown, and dark brown. All right? I'm going to just have whites and whatever brown is available, okay? So, and let me see. I forgot to tell y'all. Flour, rice, noodles, vegetables, fruits, oats, and sugar I all have in my extended pantry so far. Vegetables and olive oil. I only use olive oil, okay? But I am going to get vegetable oil because there's other reasons there's other ways you can use vegetable oil without consuming it. All right. So I do need to get vegetable oil. I don't have any there because I only use olive oil. Whether I'm frying fish or whatever, if I fry something, it's going to be in olive oil. It's not going to be in no vegetable oil or anything like that. I used to use canola oil. I don't even use that no more. Olive oil. Next is powdered milk. I just re-upped on some powdered milk the other day. Powdered milk is on the list. I do have it. Get you some because some people say, hey, I don't like powdered milk. That's understandable, but your kids may. Your kids may not know the difference. 9 out of 10 kids don't know the difference. So get you some powdered milk. You'll always have milk on hand. You can get the shelf stable milk. I have bought shelf stable milk. It was something else I was about to say. I was about to say about milk. I can't remember now. But that's what it was. When I was growing up, my granny did not like milk. She didn't like your regular whole milk. She said it seemed like it tastes like the cow. She did not like it. So I drank it, but when she made like her own cereals or something, she used that evaporated milk and mixed it with water. That was her milk. We call it sweet milk. So some of you may want to do that, but keep in mind once you own that milk, it's gotta be drunk. If you ain't got no way to refrigerate it or anything like that, but they do have it in small cans where you may be able to just put the whole thing in a pitcher or something, fill it up, and depending on how many people in your house, you may go ahead and go and use it up right then and there. So keep that in mind too. If you don't have powdered milk, look for the very small cans of evaporated milk. Like I said, you'll mix it with water, and you can use that for cereal and stuff. Okay, salt, baking powder, baking soda, and other herbs and spices. Okay, so we keep it kind of so y'all will see me dehydrating my the garden season is going, so you will see me starting to dehydrate my herbs and stuff. There's certain herbs and stuff I can use. I only use cilantro, parsley, cilantro, parsley, basil. I feel like it's another one. Sometimes rosemary, but sometimes rosemary do give me GERD situations. But yeah, so whatever seasoning and stuff you like, I only use sea salt. I do not use any other salt. I will buy sea salt that has iodine in it, and I will buy sea salt that do not have iodine in it. Baking powder and baking soda I don't really use much of, but there are so many things you can do with baking soda other than cook with it. So I would just say make sure you have baking soda and baking powder on hand. For my bread machine now, in the event of a situation where we may have power, but you can't go into town, because that was the issue with the hurricane. When power did come back, you still couldn't go into town like that, because it was like just because your side of town or your community got power, it was still power lines down in other areas. So they was telling everybody to still stay at home. So in the case that were to happen again, that was after we came back home after the 7 days. In case that happened again, just say if you got power or if you got a generator or something, I can hook up I can hook up my bread machine to the generator, and I can make a quick thing of bread. So that will work, but some recipes may be calling for me to use baking powder, but the ones I've done call for me to only use like the yeast and stuff. So I haven't bought it, but I will get more baking soda and some baking powder to have on hand. Chicken. Chicken, canned and freeze dried. Okay, so I don't buy freeze dried. I probably will, depending on if my funds go up even more, then I may start buying freeze dried food. But right now it's canned chicken. Y'all already know I be hauling the Great Value canned chicken, the 4-pack. They were $6.48. Now they $7.48 because everything is going up. So canned chicken, and it literally said canned or freeze dried. Okay. Next is beef, canned, freeze dried, dehydrated, and jerky. I don't eat beef. My husband eat beef. Me and the kids, we try to stay away from beef. Okay. The kids may have beef every now and then. I can't digest beef like that. So I don't have beef, so I'm not worried about that. And then I already told y'all I done started back practicing being a flexitarian. So far as my meat, it will only be like turkey every now and then. Mainly like seafood or chicken if I decide to eat chicken, but I'm having more fruits and vegetables than anything. All right. So if you don't know what a flexitarian is, you can Google that and it'll explain everything for as being a flexitarian. All right. But that is what I went back to. I was for a while. I got off from it, and I noticed getting off from it and stuff and taking gluten and stuff back, I feel I'm starting to have issues again, and it's the same issues prior. So that is why just digestion issues, and even with the food and stuff, ever since these recalls been going on and all that stuff, the food ain't even been the same. I don't know if I'm the only one that feel like that, but the food have not been the same. It has not been prepared the same, and my body can tell. So yeah, I'm getting back. I'm watching what I put in my mouth, because What you put in your mouth that don't agree with you, only you gonna have to deal with it. Nobody else. Only you're gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, I learned that 2 nights ago. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. I cannot do it. If I get past this, I will something I ate, I knew not to eat it, and it made me very, very sick. So yeah, I'm like, no. So keep that in mind. If you have any GERD issues, if you are a whatever, if you are diabetic, have high blood, just keep in mind what you put in your mouth, and you know you shouldn't have it. You're gonna have to deal with the consequences afterwards. Okay. And in my case, it's my GERD. I thought I was good. And yeah, I won't never do that again. All right. So beef, I don't have to worry about beef. Okay. Canned soup. I always say, y'all saw I just did a haul on canned soup from getting it at a deal at Dollar General. You can't go wrong with chicken noodle soup. Okay. Whatever brand you go, I feel like get you some chicken noodle soup and get it before the recipe change, because the recipe has changed, seemed like over the past year or two. I used to love getting the chicken and rice by Campbell. It don't taste the same. Ugh, it don't taste the same. But I did get this other one that was chicken noodle. So I would say with soup, whatever soup you like, make sure you have a lot of chicken and noodle soup. I'm watching this bee or whatever it is. I hope it go, because y'all know I don't like that. All right, y'all. You messing up my video. Go. All right, y'all. So disrespectful. All right. Okay. Next is peanut butter. Peanut butter is good for it's a good protein. Good to have. Okay, so you can buy peanut butter, don't have to be refrigerated. That's one thing. You can put it on crackers, you can put it on bread, you can eat it just off the spoon. It's a good source of protein. So I would say stock up on your peanut butter, okay? Nuts. I don't do grains that good. So nuts and seeds are perfect for me. So any type of nuts that you like to eat, stock up on nuts, get a variety of different ones, and I'll say you're good to go. Beans, various varieties of dried and canned beans. Beans does not agree with me and my family. My husband can eat beans with no problem. Beans, unless they are string beans. If they're in the string bean family, then we can deal with them. But any of your pinto beans, your butter beans, all the good beans, they don't agree with us. So that's why you see me hauling a lot of string beans. Okay. I wished I could have the dried beans, but that just means I will eventually have to just get me some freeze dried string beans, because I can't eat the dried big pinto beans and stuff like that. So string beans will be a must. That's why I keep a lot of string bean seeds for the garden, because it's very important that I grow my own string beans. Full freeze dried meals. I already told you, eventually that is the plan, is for me to eventually get freeze dried meals. I know Walmart have them. There's a couple sites that have them. I want to get credible sites. So once I do and have the funds to incorporate that in my budget, because they can get kind of expensive, then I will let y'all know. So those are the things that I wanted to talk to y'all about. I don't want my live screens to be extremely long, because like I say, it's all about getting y'all the information, and that's why I cut the chats off. It's all about getting y'all the information. All right. And I don't want no type of distractions, because this is very, very important that we step our game up. You gotta step your game up. You gotta step it up. If you don't step it up, just understand it's only gonna be you. It's not hard to prepare. These items and stuff that you buy almost every week, every month, or whatever the case, however you do your grocery shopping. You see, these are things that you buy. Just buy, take an extra $20 and get it. And please understand, the longer you wait, the more you gonna pay. It is what it is. With the prices going up, the longer you wait, the more you gonna pay. The more, if your finances is not where it's at, that's gonna be less for your money than what you can get now, because things is going up. Here, things is going up week by week. You hear me? Week by week, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so I saw an article where it said that they're saying that it's not going to get better no time soon. You hear a lot of people complaining about, oh, this is high, this is high, this is high, but don't sit down and look at the research and see what's really going on and why it's high and what you need to be doing to prepare. All right. So I was gonna take off a whole week. That's why I didn't upload the last 2 days. And then I end up having a flare up with the GERD. So it just worked out perfect. And I was like, no, I can't do it no more. After seeing these articles back for, I'm like, I got to let them know and keep reminding them of what's going on. I got to, it's a must. So I'm still gonna be, so starting today, like y'all got this live, I'll start back uploading. And then I can't sit down and just rest a full week unless I'm gone on a cruise or something like that. If I do something like that, then I can. But just being around, being at home and just don't upload, I find it hard. I found that I can start getting restless. I was like, you know what, y'all win. Because everybody said you can't go Monday through Friday without uploading. And they was right. I can't, especially when everything is going on and I know people is going to be hungry. And it's not because of the food shortages. It's because people not going to have the funds to pay the prices that's on this stuff at the store. It's so many different reasons. But we normally see food shortages. But the prices is a hinder. You probably gonna have food in the store, but nobody can really afford it. We got a family of 5 here. You know how much, if I wasn't growing our own food and stuff this summer, you know how much we would spend. I can't open one bag of green beans, frozen green beans. I can't cook a 1 pack of 6. They're gonna look at me crazy. So what I'm doing is I'm learning how to have that. If I do that 1 bag of corn, have multiple little things that don't cost that much. Hold up, let me rephrase that. That's free because I'm getting it from the garden. That's gonna help them out. So y'all will be seeing as everything pick up, as my fruit and stuff starts to come in and stuff. I'm gonna be sharing with y'all, probably on live stream, me making lunch, how simple it is. That's another thing. Y'all, we all guilty of this, overeating. Don't overeat. You don't want your body to get so used to overeating, and it come to a time where you got to proportion your food and now your body can't take it. Our bodies is not designed to overeat. All right? With me, I'm supposed to eat 6 small meals a day. That's 3 meals, not overeating. And I'm guilty that I have done it. But I'm supposed to eat almost every 2 hours. Whether it's just a ham, when they say almost every 2 hours, it's a handful of nuts, a handful of seeds, a snack of maybe a few crackers. Yesterday, while I was getting my day before yesterday is when I had the flare up. It got me about 12 o'clock that night. I thought I got better 3 o'clock that morning. I thought I was gonna have to go to the ER. It was that bad. The pain was I'm like, is it my gallbladder? I hope it's not my gallbladder. And then I felt, and then I was like, no, I remember this pain from 2020. I know what it was. I reached back on what I ate. I took it upon myself to have me a slice of pizza. So I spent all yesterday on soup and crackers. And when I tell you, some saltine crackers on a Sprite was like the best thing I ever had. And the fact that I felt that my stomach was getting better. Y'all just don't understand. I don't wish that on nobody. I shouldn't have done it. I know I shouldn't have done it. And I did it. And I'm just like, I said, I'm saying, I will never do this again. So keep that in mind on, if you don't suffer from issues like GERD, because that's what it is, GERD. If you don't suffer from that, a lot of people have been in the last 2 years. A lot of people has been reaching out to me saying they was just diagnosed with GERD. And let me tell you, that ain't something that you want to play with. It sounds like it's just heartburn, but after so long, it gets worse and worse. You have to train your body. And I had done it. I was doing so good. I don't know what made me even think about doing that. But I learned my lesson because I was the only one that was in pain like that. Nobody else. All because I put something in my mouth. I let my mind tell me it's okay when I already knew I shouldn't have had it. And a lot of people don't understand your gut controls your brain, your mental. If you don't have good gut health, your mental is thrown off. I'm telling you, it is. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, you know what? They need to know this. You need to know this so you can be able to prepare and try to be safe as possible, with everything that's going on. So, been on here 36 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. End this right here. I don't know about me turning off the chat if the comments gonna be available. They may be, but like I said, if you have any questions, email me at MississippiGirl2021 at Gmail. Okay, MississippiGirl2021 at Gmail. All right, you can email me there. I'll respond as soon as I get a chance. And yeah, I gotta go out here and deal with this garden and deal with these chickens, y'all. So I hope y'all be safe, and I'll see you in the next one if it's God's will. Okay, bye.